Hello, I'm attorney Vince Davis. California's divorce and family law landscape is undergoing its most significant transformation in decades. Recent changes effective between 2024 and 2026 reflect a major shift toward modernization and collaborative procedures. Today, we're discussing what these changes mean for you and your family as you navigate this process. Let's start with a transformative development. Senate Bill 1427, introducing the joint petition for dissolution. Effective January 1st, 2026, this law creates a streamlined middle ground for couples who agree on all terms. Unlike the restrictive summary dissolution of the past, this applies to any marriage duration, even those with children and assets. The benefits are clear. Significantly lower filing fees compared to the state average cost of traditional divorce. It eliminates formal service of process, meaning the mandatory 6-month waiting period begins the moment you file together. Crucially, it removes adversarial language like "you have been sued," helping to keep the conflict low from the start. Next, let's talk about the major overhaul of California's child support guidelines under Senate Bill 343. Effective September 1st, 2024, these are the first major changes to our child support formulas since 1992. The new law updates the K-factor formula, generally increasing support obligations for higher income earners. The income cap for standard calculations has risen from $30,000 to $35,000 per month. Add-on expenses like childcare are now shared proportionately to each parent's income, rather than a flat 50-50 split. The definition of income has also expanded to include things like severance pay and certain military allowances. Because of these shifts, many legal professionals have moved from disso master to ex-spouse for accurate calculations. California is also leading the way in expanding the legal definition of abuse to address coercive control. This includes patterns of behavior that interfere with free will, such as isolation or financial manipulation. Courts now formally recognize these behaviors as a legitimate basis for restraining orders and custody decisions. For parents in safe locations, Senate Bill 599 now requires courts to consider virtual visitation as a safer alternative. Effective 2025, any domestic violence protective order triggers an immediate requirement to surrender all firearms. And under AB 933, victims are protected from retaliatory defamation suits when speaking about their experiences. Recent legislation has also introduced more nuance into how the courts handle child custody and mental health. Judges are now required to provide specific written findings if a parent's mental illness impacts a custody decision. They must also provide a list of local treatment resources, ensuring transparency rather than vague assertions. New rules also prohibit forced reunification treatments that use pressure or unauthorized youth transporters. California is strengthening the presumption against awarding custody to a parent with a history of abuse. Finally, we turn to important updates regarding spousal support and its enforcement. Senate Bill 589 strengthens prohibitions against awarding spousal support to those convicted of violent sexual felonies. Even without a criminal conviction, a family court finding of such an act can bar support and attorney fees. Recognizing the need to work, SB 1055 prohibits suspending driver's licenses for child support arrears in certain low-income cases. Starting in 2025, cases can be more easily transferred to any county where either party resides, accommodating mobile families. These changes represent a significant shift in how we handle divorce in California, focusing on fairness and safety. Understanding these new laws is critical to building a strategy that protects your rights and your future. Whether it's child support adjustments or navigating a joint petition, the right legal guidance makes all the difference. We've covered the new joint petitions coming in 2026 and the child support overhaul already in effect. We also discussed the expanded definitions of abuse and the requirement for transparency in mental health findings. And finally, the updates to spousal support bars and protections for low-income parents paying arrears. Divorce is never easy, but California's move toward less adversarial options and clearer standards is a step forward. Staying informed is your best tool for ensuring a fair outcome for you and your children. Our goal is to help you transition into your next chapter with stability and confidence. Navigating these changes requires a dedicated partner who understands the nuances of California family code. Call us now at 888 888 6582. I'm Vince Davis, and we are all in this together.